This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and the real star of today's show is the Porsche 918 RSR wheel rim by Fanatec for the Clubsport wheelbase. Now, this is the latest in releases of a whole bunch of different wheel rims that they do have available for the Clubsport wheelbase. And what you have here also on the table is my tried and true Clubsport wheelbase and formula rim, which I've been testing for a long time. I've actually been preparing for a long-term test review of the Clubsport wheelbase. And since this wheel showed up, I thought it would be a good time to show it to you, do a little first look at this, and talk about the entire lineup of wheels, because there are quite a few available wheels for the base itself. Now, the Clubsport wheelbase is $449.95, but it doesn't come with any wheel rim. Now, the first wheel rim available, this is the original formula wheel. They're $179.95, and they've been around as long as the Clubsport wheelbase. It's the original wheel, along with the BMW M3 GT2 rim, which goes for $249.95. Now, fairly recently, they actually announced the carbon fiber, or the carbon version of the formula rim, and I will say it is very similar. There aren't a lot of differences. The plate itself is actually the same aluminum plate as you have on the formula. It's a piece of carbon fiber that goes over the aluminum thing, but it's completely shaped and cut out for all the buttons and rev lights and things like that. That wheel actually goes for $249.95. And they're really the same. It's an aesthetic difference is the big difference, but it does look really nice. I'll tell you something about this carbon fiber. When I put my finger on it, it looks like there's a tremendous amount of depth below it. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's a very nicely done version. And again, it's aesthetics. Am I trying to tell you it's worth that much more? I'm not. But I'm also not going to tell you it's not worth that much more, because when it comes to looks, when it comes to aesthetics, you know, I've spent a lot of money chasing door panels or light switch covers on my automobile. Why not do the same thing for your sim rig? And I think that's a clear case of what's going on right here. Now, another option that's available for the Clubsport wheelbase is the Universal Clubsport wheel adapter, which I was able to play with at E3. Got some photos of it with a D-shaped wheel. Now, with that adapter, which you can buy on its own for $249.95, that's going to give you 4 little button boxes that you can move around, shifter paddles, all sorts of variations, a ton of buttons built into this unit. But the most important thing being that you could use it with any race-type bolt pattern. So you want to buy a Momo, an OMP, a Sparco, it's going to work on the universal adapter. Now, Fanatec also has a handful of different wheels that you can use with Fanatec branding on it. And in any of those configurations, you're looking at $349.90. And that one comes in an oval, a GT rim, a round, a D shape, and it even comes in that very cool vintage looking one with the chrome ribs and the leather going around that made it look very old school. Now, it also comes with buttons, but you don't see it in the photos that are produced by Fanatec, which made it seem like a very expensive wheel with no buttons or shifter paddles, but all that's included with the universal wheel adapter, so you'd have it. Now, that does take us to the star of today's show, now that we have kind of concluded the Fanatec lineup, and this brings us to the Porsche 918 RSR wheel. This wheel is $399.95 for the wheel alone. It has some very unique features to it, though. It is a 13-inch wheel like the BMW wheel. Go ahead and open this up for you. Go ahead and see what we've got inside right there. Got an instruction manual. And it's very similar to that wheel in that it is full size and that it's licensed. Now, in this case, it's licensed by Porsche instead of BMW. And it is a exact replica of the real 918 RSR wheel. So I'm going to go ahead and get this box and packaging out of the way as we go ahead and take our first look at this wheel, which I'm hoping is going to be my new favorite. One thing I'll notice, it's not very heavy for the size. I haven't even taken it out of the bag. It's pretty lightweight for the size of the wheel. Comes in the typical Fanatec packaging, lovely packaging with the box. Now it's in the little bag, which, I mean, if you have multiple wheels, I could see using these bags to store them if you want to keep them dust-free. And, oh, let's go ahead and do this like this for all of us. All right, here we go. Look at that. That's the 918 wheel. All right, we've got a really nice Porsche emblem in the center. We've got the typical Fanatec button for the little menu screen. We've got tons of buttons on the thing, including a shielded guarded button, which would make good for mute or chat so you don't talk by accident. You've got the typical joystick and 8-way switch over here, encoder style, so this one spins, push button. Same thing on the joystick side, no spinning, but it does do a push button. You've got all of these buttons mounted around the inside, and then maybe the most noticeable feature, you've got the rev bar built into the top of the wheel, just like the real 918 RSR Porsche. Looking at the back, very similar in design to the others. You've got the cover of the control area. You've got a quick release, this time in black instead of the typical red. There's the plastic pin reminding me to insert my metal threaded pin when I install it. And then you've got some very nicely extended paddle shifters that you can reach from all the way up at the top with my pinkies. I mean, I'm all the way at top operating with my pinkies. Bring it down to the middle, not so bad. Even down from below, you can shift those. So anyway, little carbon fiber look on the inside here. Beautiful looking wheel. I am looking forward to getting my Clubsport wheel back on my rig and doing some laps. I'm going to include this in my long-term review of the wheel, but I did want you to get a first look at it since I'm just getting it out of the box today, and I know it's a new wheel that a lot of you out there are really excited about. It's a beautiful wheel. It is very expensive. The leather, it's got a real leather feel. This isn't the typical Alcantara that I'm accustomed to by Fanatec. It's a little bit smoother leather, kind of a brownish tint to it, which is authentic to the car. Again, this is a replica wheel. So I hope you've enjoyed the first look. I will be excited to doing a full review of this wheel, the carbon fiber formula wheel rim, and the Clubsport base. I'm going to have that coming to you pretty soon, and this is after a lot of laps, a lot of races, and a lot of real extensive testing to let you know not just my first thoughts or my first impressions, but really how it's played out for me while racing. So I hope you've enjoyed this show today. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.